All right, so question 7 says, at the store, you see that you can buy a bag of candy for $2 and a drink for $1. Assume that you have a total of $35 to spend. You are feeling generous and want to buy some snacks for you and your friends. Part A says to write an equation in standard form to represent the number of bags of candy, X, and the number of drinks, Y. So, bags of candy cost $2. So that's 2x. And then we're also paying for drinks that cost $1. So that's 1y. And how much do I have to spend? Okay, so we want that to equal $35. So the equation that we're going to write in the middle is 2x plus 1y equals 35. And while I'm thinking of it, we didn't take off points on your quiz, but we will be taking off points on your test, because on your quiz you hadn't really seen a graph that hadn't been labeled, and so we just wrote you a note on your quiz if there was missing labels. Make sure that you realize, like this graph here in number 7, it doesn't have labels, so we need to label it, and we're going to use the words that were given to us in part A. So it says bags of candy are X, so along the x-axis I'm going to label that bags of candy. And then up the y-axis, I see that the y-axis was supposed to be drinks. So I find the y-axis and I label that drinks. Okay. And so then we're going to plug in just like we did yesterday. So we're going to take out the x and put in the number that is x. Okay. Everything else is going to stay the same. So for each one we still have the plus y equals 35, and plus y equals 35, and plus y equals 35. So I don't really have a lot of space in that box to solve my equation, so I'm going to come down here to the bottom. And I'm going to say 2 times 0. 2 times 0 is just 0. So I have 0 plus y equals 35. That's that first equation. So I'm going to subtract 0 from both sides, I guess. Gives me y equals 35. Okay. Now I'm going to look at the next box down. I'm going to look at the 5. So I've got 2 times 5 is what? 10. So I've got 10 plus y equals 35. And then, Macy, what do I do to both sides to get y by itself?
Subtract 10.
Good. So that gives me y equals 25. And then we're going to go down and do the 1 from 10. So 2 times 10 is, And Joe, what do I do to both sides to solve that equation? Great. So that gives us y equals 15. And because this is a linear equation, I should start to notice a pattern here. I notice that on the x's I've got 0, 5, 10, 15. I'm noticing in the y's it goes 35, 25, 15. What are we thinking that last y should be? Okay, let's check and make sure. 2 times 15 is 30, plus y equals 35. And if I subtract 30 from both sides, that gives me y equals 5. So it is a good idea to make sure that these values make sense. So do we see here in the x column we see a pattern, in the y column we see a pattern? That last column there, we're just putting those numbers together. So we have 0, 35, and I can plot that point, 0 up 35. And then we have 5, 25. And we have 10, 15. And we have 15, 5. And we're just going to plot all those points. And so 5, 25. And over 10, up 15, and over 15 up 5, and then see if I have a straight line here. Looks like not. Alright, so we're going to have to humor me with my straight line here. So you guys are going to take your ruler and you're going to connect those points to make a straight line. And then remember, whenever we make a line, we want to label our line so we know our line is 2x plus 1y equals 35. And today what we're going to do is we're going to look at how we can simplify this equation so we don't have to do all of this work. So each time we solve for y, we had to do a whole lot of extra work. Today we're going to look at a little bit more work in the beginning so that all of this goes away. So we're going to look at a way to make our lives a little easier.
Yesterday these guys said that style problem in standard form was easier.
Cool.
So I'm not sure.